Hi, Smoke here. I was hesitating to comment on this, but I felt compelled to share some thoughts after the tragic uh, um, slaughter in Minneapolis, and mainly the reaction to it. The as those of you who watch this podcast or have been seen my postings, you know that 99.9% of everything I do is focusing on love and positivity and how we can be our best selves and find divinity, etc. But the collective act of not recognizing evil and not ignoring it or denying it enables it. So um, count this as my 0.001% of commentary that addresses this topic. The the horrific actions by this very low conscious level person who was clearly mentally unwell and uh, possessed by lower astral energies to commit this horrific act um, should be should be a unifying moment of coming together in prayer and in love for these children and for all humanity. But the response has been fairly disturbing, uh, and this is not addressed to those people who are responding with denial and projection, which is what I see primarily happening on the left. And this is not a counterpoint because truth needs no counterpoint, and falsehood doesn't require anything other than recognizing it's false. But these denials are absolutely horrific, and the approach that quote leaders are taking in projecting, talking about guns, talking about uh, protecting trans rights is just preposterous and needs to be called out for what it is. The lower astrals exist. They are the demonic forces, satanic forces at lower levels of consciousness, and they infect individuals who um, have some kind of flaw in their system or are operating at a very low level of consciousness, and so they're susceptible to them. They're everywhere, and this has happened since the beginning of time, and it's not going to go away. But the idea that people who are more advanced in understanding and in positions of quote power or leadership don't call this out is extremely problematic. And so this is addressed really to families, to people who are trying to make sense of things, who are trying to talk to their kids, who are trying to understand, you know, what they should do if there's anything they can do, and not to the deniers, because they will face their consequences. Everything has a consequence, and everything in the world that we do, say, think, or act on has perfect karmic um, repercussions. So that will all come to bear with uh, each and every individual, regardless of what I say or anyone else says. It's a divine rule. It's the way the universe works. But what we can say to our kids and to each other is, you know, the love and compassion and prayer and commitment to a better place, to a better world, to a better behavior is the counterforce, and it's much stronger than this evil that we've seen perpetrated. anyone denying this, anyone that is out there trying to project, trying to turn this into something else for political gain, is non-integrous. And so what I would suggest is take stock in what people are saying, take stock in who is taking a position like that, and recognize that if they're taking that position on this issue, they're probably taking a non-integrous issue on many things. This idea that the means justify the ends is completely against universal law, natural law, and it's completely against God's law. And the idea that you use a tragedy like this to somehow gain advantage and make your political points is completely non-integrous. And so if you're seeing this, rather than engage in the back and forth with non-integrous people and positions, be what you wish, be what you want, demonstrate love, demonstrate acts of kindness, demonstrate compassion for others, and spread that word. Tell that to your kids, tell that to the people that you're with, and absolutely reject all these people who are out there pontificating about some kind of special rights or anything. No one has special rights who commits acts like this. No one has an excuse for this. They are absolutely possessed by the lower astral energies, and denying that is denial of truth. So my message here is simply, obviously there's people who are in the public arena and their job is to counteract some of these things and to be aggressive on the other side. But I would urge normies, people who are not engaged in that, to rise above the polarities, recognize divinity for what it is, pray for these children and for the other kids that were injured, and pray for humanity. These acts are a blasphemy. They're a sacrilege. They're against universal law, and they're all punished regardless. So it's not like anybody gets off scot-free. But I think the people who are in positions of power have to be called out. And, it's not about which team is winning in this case. And I would love to see some quote unquote leaders or people of prominence on the left speak out about this. You don't have to be a pack and all jump on one side's narrative, which is what is happening. Call it out for what it is. Show your integrity. Show that you're actually a worthy human, that someone could feel good supporting you. This is an opportunity to show actual leadership and not be part of this ridiculous stampede of denial. There's just no other way around it. And I would say that if you're not in that public arena and you're just trying to make sense of things, talk to your kids, spend time with them, spend time with people you love, put positive thoughts out in the universe, pray for these people, pray for this sorry soul who is now deceased, because, he's going to have a really, really rough time in the next realm. But those people who are in positions of power, who are taking these positions, watch them, notice them, be aware, because if you can't trust them in a situation like this, you can't trust them, period. So, not my favorite message, but again, not calling out evil is enabling it. And so consider them called out. And if this helps anyone contextualize this, there's no sense that can be made. Certainly there's lots of ideas around protecting churches or schools, and things like that. And those are probably good ideas, because there are these lower astral energies. There are these individuals who are operating at very low levels, and they are possessed. It's a fact. And protecting one's kids and society from them is a worthy goal. Very hard to do, but worth trying to do as many things as you can to prevent these things. But the people who enable this, the people who are pushing this trans agenda, the people who are excusing it or talking about this is some kind of trans rights, this is this is a denial of divinity. It's a narcissistic, self-aggrandizement, easy for me to say, position of the self, is personal self, being above God and above everyone else. And it's the opposite of service to the all. It's an opposite of service to divinity. And these forces are on the losing end of things. We are in a rising world of vibration and positivity. And unfortunately, as we raise our consciousness as humanity, the things that are in the way of that are going to come up. This is one of those examples. And there's no excusing it. There's no denying it. There's no dancing around it. But projecting, getting angry, jumping on social media, jumping into the fray isn't going to help anybody. So what does help is, where are you? What are your thoughts? What is your connection to divinity? What are you telling your kids? What are you telling each other? And look in the mirror, look inside, and be the best individual that you can be. That is the greatest thing that any of us can do, is as we raise our vibration, we raise the consciousness level of all of humanity. And I just felt compelled to share that, because I know a lot of people are hurting, upset, angry. One of the strategies of the lower astrals, if there is a strategy, I don't know exactly how it works, but is to divide. And this is a great example of dividing. The quote unquote leaders and public figures who take this ridiculous position are helping divide humanity, helping divide us. And so we spend all our time fighting each other, arguing about things, and not recognizing the truth. So I hope this helps a few people. I will stay positive on everything I can, but I had to call this out. So thanks for this short version of the Smoke Trail. Let me know your comments, or if I can be of any help. Thanks.